When many people think of Shakespeare's sonnets, they tend to think of lines like "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day" from Sonnet 18. Those exaggerated metaphors, found in many poems of undying love, are often used at weddings or situations where the most romantic verbiage is required. The term sonnet is derived from the Italian word sonetto, meaning little song, which itself is derived from the Latin word sonus, meaning sound. By the 13th century, it signified a poem of 14 lines that follows a very strict rhyme scheme and structure. In English, the sonnet is traditionally written in iambic pentameter, which describes the rhythm of the poem. Basically, it reads like da-dum, 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 da-dum. The first known sonnets in English, written by Sir Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, used the Italian form, as did sonnets by later English poets, including John Milton, Thomas Gray, William Wordsworth, and Elizabeth Barrett Browning. But most people equate sonnets with none other than the great William Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets, and although not all of them involve romantic-style love language, for many he is the first poet that comes to mind when sonnets are discussed. But Shakespeare wrote a love sonnet that some might consider less than flattering, Sonnet 130. This sonnet is almost a parody of the usual tropes involving overstated rhymes to swoon one's love interests. One of the many sonnets written for the mysterious dark lady, the sonnet borders between insults and an exaggeration in the other direction, towards realism. Just listen to the poem. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked, red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes there is more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress when she walks treads on the ground. And yet by heaven I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. Shakespeare's composition seems to parody a great many sonnets at the time. Poets like Thomas Watson, Michael Drayton, and Barnaby Barnes were all part of the sonnet craze, and each wrote sonnets proclaiming love for an almost unimaginable figure. Some say that Sonnet 130 could actually be a satire of Thomas Watson's poem Passionate Century of Love, pointing out that the Watson poem contains all but one of the platitudes that Shakespeare is making fun of in Sonnet 130. Many early editions took the sonnet at face value and believed that it was simply a belittling of the writer's mistress. However, many today believe that the poem is actually quite the opposite, and acts as a compliment in the most realistic fashion. Many sonnets of the day seem to praise the object of the poem for qualities that they don't actually possess, such as snow-white skin or golden hair. Perhaps people really don't want to be complimented on a quality they don't have, but rather on the realistic appreciation of their character. Maybe Shakespeare is in reality complimenting qualities the mistress truly exhibits. Listen to the couplet at the end of the poem. And yet by heaven I think my love as rare as she belied with false compare. This gives us the hint that perhaps this is a love deeper than simple flattery. His love is just as real as any false comparisons. So what do you think of Sonnet 130? Do you think it professes true love, or is it just a bunch of insults? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.